you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
I have moments to calm before the storm. I'm your host, Mr. A.H.A.D. With me, we have Brother Fat Killer Abdul-Aziz, Holy-Apostle Deen Saleem, the Holy Mother of Saleem. May I eat his peace and other blessings be within everybody's presence. Before we get started, acknowledge our audience that are here with us, a group of young people here that are part of this community, a part of this way of life. We want to thank them because they're being engrossed and being taught and educated so much about the reality of our easy sitting down this way of life we call religion today. And one thing we want to address is the war of genocide on our people as a whole, and a mental genocide on our people in particular, because I easily explain to us now that it is a component 212 of the Divine Meditation called the psychology of Islam. And 213, you must believe in and have faith. They go hand in hand because they affect the mental being. But why you said part of the curse that is upon us as a people today, and affected the curse that affected upon us through slavery. Now, and one of the things I explained to us is that if you take down the woman, which is the first teacher, the mother of the community, and then taking her down, and then it takes down the children, then it has over the effect in the black man above all. If you take him down out of his woman, then the trickle effect has now, the almost a domino effect goes into play. And then every people in the world outside of us start looking at it in a lesser degree. So we don't build up our own insight what they either given us and build up our family structure. And combat the war of genocide with doing the proper thing, the right that the Lord has sent down in his covenant. Then we will continue to perpetuate this cycle. And what's one of the things that we can all address any moment?
Yeah, man, I even speak.
Let's speak about the good will, my brother. Yes, sir.
You know, and you think about the significance of the role of the female as well as the male. You know, as a family body. You mentioned slavery. You mentioned the mental attack on the mentality, the psychology of the African American throughout the history of existence here in the United States, in the West. And we know, and it's been well documented as to what has happened to the black male, and you know, and dissociating the black male in his part in the family unit, and the effect that it has on the family unit. But then, when you talk about the significance of now how the African American female is being literally attacked, you know, and the image of her state of mind, her particular role in the family, you know, that goes right to the core of the family unit, right at the core unit when you talk about, as you said, the youth coming up and the youth coming up. So quite a chore, quite a job, quite a thing has to be done. A significant divine intervention. Lord Holy-Apostle Deen.
Well, Holy Queen Mother was telling me she's been doing some research, and she looked into this Willie Lynch thing, and she said that she pulled something up off the internet where they said that Willie Lynch, what they said about Willie Lynch wasn't true. But she also made mention to me, which I agree, is that whether it was true or not, whether he said those things about, you know, how you take the African slaves down and keep control of them, whether that was true or not, this is what they did, and this is what they are doing.
Yes.
And in response to what you were saying about, you know, getting to the African American women today, that attack has been going on for a long time. What has happened is, it's back in the 60s for us.
Right.
You know, when the females started stepping out talking about women's rights and what have you, that thing was already implanted in them. You understand? Because what the women should have been fighting for is, instead of them being able to step up and do whatever it is they want to do, they should have been fighting for the Lord's covenant, where it states that a woman is stays in you know, the man, beneath the man. You know, when the Lord says things, people may not understand what it's talking about.
Right.
And the devil will always come and try to disconfigure, disrupt, misconstrue the Lord's words. And they make it seem as though the woman being the stage beneath the man is something terrible. But when what's terrible, the only thing that's terrible is that their understanding of it and how they approach it. Because my Lord has said to me that man being a stage above the woman makes man have the greater responsibility to serve the woman.
Okay.
Who serves the family.
Right.
Because the woman is above the children. And so it went further to explain to me that the angels is above man.
Right.
That's why at least the devil Satan was told to submit and serve man.
Right.
And the devil didn't want to serve. I'm greater than him. Why should I serve him? You see? So the devil was the first to reject. And then, in the spirit of the demon beast, the jinn, the evil jinn that's amongst the men, you know, inspired them with that evil thought, that evil seed. And then they go about disrupting to say that the woman is less than man because she's a stage beneath the man. But Allah put order, law and order. Everybody can't be the leader. You understand? And then Allah went even further. It went even further and said that it is the greatest servant. Now that kind of like took me because I never thought about Allah as being the true Abd.
Right.
The true Abdullah.
Yeah.
The true servant.
Right.
I never thought of it as being the true servant. It explained, made it very clear for me that if it don't serve everything, anything it don't serve life to, it don't exist.
Yes. So
if the Lord stopped serving, stopped working, stopped being the host, then we have nothing. We are nothing. Yes. So it's honor in being a servant. So when Ahezaah explained all those things to me, I can understand my position as being an honorable servant and to my wife and my children. Right. Now, who is the leader in the family? In all truth, is the man and the woman, because if the man and the woman are to be joined in marriage as one, one is one.
That's right.
Both are the leaders as one.
Yes.
One makes the other complete.
Right.
Because the two opposites of the one thing.
Yes.
You see, making it complete. So, you know, every man, presidents, kings, khans, shahs, czars, whatever, they all have wives that they go to in the middle of the night and lament, give their problems to, and discuss certain things with, look for advice. When they get ill, they look for their wives or whomever to mother them, you know, because mothers are the first teachers. Right. And every mother, every human being respects that woman as a mother. If that's a righteous woman and a righteous man, either put them in the righteous man in the righteous path of the way, and they understand. So a man who is right with Ahezaah in the covenant of Allah, who recognizes his wife as a stage beneath him, recognize that his duty is to serve that person, so that she or they can keep that family, serve that family right. And in turn, you know, like Jesus said, better give than receive. Right. You know, I give to my wife so that when I give, I'm receiving.
And see, I was going to say something.
Oh, well, what I wanted to address was Willie Lynch. In case people out there don't know who Willie Lynch was, he was supposed to be a British slave owner who came to the United States to teach the people in the South about how to develop their slaves so that they can have good, productive slaves. What they said that he spoke about was the fact that he would take the strongest black male on his plantation and would strip him naked and tie him and stretch his body, but wouldn't kill him, and would make the whole family, all the slaves, come out and watch this torture take place. And would beat him, but not kill him, and leave him as a sign to what they would do to the family. So what their purpose was to instill this fear into the woman, so that when the mothers, And so when they start having children, they will nurture their children to be good slaves so that their children wouldn't have to go through that type of torture. The other part of that was to show the woman that the strongest man, their men, were not strong, could be defeated.
Right.
So by them doing that, they did something to the family. Now, in this day and time, Ahezaah leaves things behind as a reminder, as a sign, as a teaching tool. Now, we still trying to, we have all these organizations set up for the Crips, the Bloods, and, gang violence, and we're trying to fix this thing, but nobody really wants to go back to the root. See, fixing this thing is not like, okay, this is broke, I just go to Home Depot and get a screw.
Right.
If they were successful in tearing down the psychology of these people, mind our people, okay, that has never been fixed. In this day and time, the role of a woman in this day and time is, she thinks, first of all, she's not looking at other races of women. She's looking at this Caucasian society has allowed her to make more money than her man.
Right.
Oprah Winfrey just opened up a school in South Africa for women. Who's the one? Women are strong. We're more adjustable and apt to deal and survive better than a man mentally. A man gets frustrated quicker than a woman. A woman usually is able to hold her own longer. So Oprah Winfrey is sending a sign too. Let's keep raising the women. Forget the young men. Let's raise these young women so that they could be the one that keeps the black men under there. Just like she's not married.
Right.
Because ain't nobody going to govern her.
She has no
because
balance.
She has all this money. So what they're doing in this day and time, of course, the game going to change to fit the situation. We're not on the plantation anymore. We're on this mental plantation. So they give us more money to make at these corporations. And then they won't hire, our brothers going to get hired in the mailroom.
Right.
So the women, and I work out in the corporate world, so I know what I'm talking about. So the sisters that's upstairs in the corporate world, making all this money, dressing all fly and everything, here come the mailman. Now the first thing is, we have a distaste for the mailman because he's only a mailman. We know he ain't making nearly as much as we are.
Right.
But we have needs. Ahezaah give us needs. But we'll take that mailman home and satisfy our needs, but we have no use for him in our lives. Because society how many Caucasian women you see today trying to rear children alone?
Yeah.
But they have tricked the black women to believe that they can rear their children alone. How many Caucasian women you see got their feet on Caucasian men? No. They play the right role in their family.
Yeah.
But we follow them in all this foolishness, but we ain't looking at that.
Right.
So we're not looking at why our family structure is falling.
Right.
So we have fallen for that same trick. So it haven't changed. So in order to fix the problem, you have to see where the problem started. Then you have to change the psychology of the minds of our people. By putting them in order with what I used to send down. See, truth never changed. Truth never changed. Ahezaah's words, that which is sent down with Adam, up to this time with Holy-Apostle Deen, is still the same. Right. The laws and order is still the same. But we don't want to follow that because somebody tricked us to believe that we are the governor of our lives. And so what the female has done, our race, is not only do we put our men under us, we raise our sons to be tricked. We don't tell our sons our nature.
Yeah.
We try to make our son the biggest sucker in the world for a woman. Buy a woman flowers, buy candy, take her a trip around the world. Just make a complete behind out of your damn self.
Yeah.
Open the door for her. Cook her meal. Wait a minute. And then those is one segment of women. Then we have the other one who want to blame our troubles on the male.
Everything
because we couldn't control that male.
Yeah.
So now we can control him to be our slave. So now we want to blame him. So now we liking other women. So now we liking other women, or we ain't got attached to drugs. And so now our son is left out there to raise himself.
Then there's that third group of women too, who don't. I've achieved status in life. I don't need a man at all now. And then that other woman now.
Well, that's in the same vein of what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what Elijah Muhammad, and you know, it's just, I don't want the audience to think that we are followers of Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
When in truth, we follow behind Elijah Muhammad because we follow behind yesterday.
Right.
You know, Elijah was yesterday, we today. Mm-hmm. Elijah started something. The Lord started something through Elijah, and he talked about the Caucasians as being our enemies, the devils, the enemies of man, this man, the dark-skinned man. We can't change what is in terms of as it is. You know, we can't make it to not have been. The Caucasians have purposefully, a segment of them have purposefully attacked our people.
Right.
And they're still attacking our people. But they've raised the war to a high level of intellectuality.
Yes.
They use the media, and if you look at the media, take sports for instance. They rip a black man, African man down in the light, under the cameras, behind the microphones. If he make mistakes, every athlete who got a story to tell, if he's black, you hear about him being in jail, his father being in jail, he's been poor, he's that, and the other, all the negatives. But when it comes to them Caucasian boys, you don't hear a story about them unless it's a good story. You know? Right. Then they throw the camera, the African Americans, they say a lot of things. But when they say certain men that's in that corporation, you know, like whatever field of the athletics it is, this man been like a father to me, white man been like a father to me. They throw that camera up in him so the whole world could see that. And all the African American young boys and women could see that. Another white man, good white man, that been a father like to another man, and he had achieved, I've achieved my dream, I've achieved, man, he taught me how to be man. He taught you how to play ball and how to act in front of the camera. Now, do you think that's a man? A man, if he taught you how to be a real man, if he teach any athletes how to be a real man, he would teach them how to fight the devil, fight his people, go against all the absurdity that this nation has put on us. You understand? And stand up as a free man. Huh? Don't sit back and be the sucker who talking about how, they have given them so much because they can be the house nigga today. The modern house nigga. Making millions of dollars and what have you. You understand? You want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Just give me a moment. Okay, hold that question. And my whole thing about this Oprah Winfrey thing, she's one of the top house niggers.
Yeah.
House niggeros. Slave niggeros, bringing the color purple back to Big Apple, New York, want to keep us in that mindset of old Sally and old Charlie and old Pappy and it gets on the nerves, I'm saying. It gets on the nerves because they paying her millions of dollars to keep our people down. And and she comes from that generation where they have been grooming people, the women, to take the men down. And she became famous and wealthy off of degrading black men. Mm-hmm. You understand? Yeah. And now she done so much and got to her position that she don't have to do that no more. She's established herself. And the women behind her know what she's about, even though she got a different thing going on, a slightly different thing in appearance. You understand? But you look at her on the television set just the same as you look at all the other ones, about people they allow to come to the door. And she might be doing something for groups of African American people to help raise them up in consciousness. Who knows? Right. But they always throw the camera on her when she's doing it for Caucasians.
Yeah.
And that's saying, without saying, you can get ahead if you do for Caucasians. You can get ahead if you want to do it for all the people, but you ain't getting nowhere if you don't want to do it for the Caucasians and and everybody and your people as well. You understand?
Yeah.
So I'm wrong for wanting to see my family rise without having, to become equally great, beautified, and have comfort and harmony in life and with the Lord Most High as any other race of people. I'm wrong for that in their eyes. You see, but they got control of all those brothers that sit up there as commentators and what have you. They pick the ones that they want to be up there. And see, what the people don't understand is no matter what you say, them people in the media, the Oprah Winfrey's, the Charles Barkley's, the Michael Irvins, the Magic Johnsons, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, you just go on and the James Brown, and all of them. They are the African American leaders.
Right.
That the Caucasians have made leaders, and they must say what they're supposed to say to keep their position, to keep that money, to keep those houses and ranches and what have you. And it is pathetic. And if you come and you speak Islam like Abdul Rauf did, that basketball player for Denver, I believe it was.
Yeah.
If you say what it is about America, they will strip you. And he was a millionaire that appeared to be having power. They stripped him. And a top-notch ball player, top of his game. And they said, we don't need you. Get out of here. And he said, I'll go to Canada. I will never take back what I said. This country is about this. The flag represents tyranny. Yeah. To some people, it do represents tyranny. It's tyrannical. This country is tyrannical to some people, but we can't see it as a people because it's not coming at us. Talking about the people in other countries. But us African Americans who are the have-nots, we know what he's talking about. We know what he's talking about. But you got people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar who would run with his ugly behind out there and speak against them, and the African Hakeem Olajuwon and run out there and speak against that brother and confirm that Islam is against this brother, right? But look what Allah did as soon as they did that. Took that boy's knees, Olajuwon's knees right from him, because it's the Lord of all things, and them knees belong to Allah. It took his knees and he couldn't play no more. Burnt Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, all his fame, his house down.
Yeah.
Took all his records and everything. He was, lamenting about that, But that was a sign from Allah. That was a sign from Allah, And Oprah Winfrey is out there in front, killing our people. She is a slayer of the African family.
I found that so significant concerning the school, brother. And why you go, even if she went to another country, just South Africa.
Because for the Caucasians, she's spreading this germ to the Africans. I could see if she said build up these women so that they could be good, strong, true black women for the African American family or the African family, but now she's spreading this seed to the world. Brother Man has something to say.
Well, my question was pretty much answered through the conversation. I was gonna ask something in regards to you said the war's been brought up to a new intellectual level, whereas though they do it in movies now, like you see the Caucasian teachers teaching the poor black African American children and things of that nature. So it was pretty much answered. But I had another question. I was wondering, because I was just so happened today I had I saw like an old interview with Malcolm X and how the racism, when the nation was first being built, when some of the ministers was publicized, how they intellectually tried to attack Malcolm X, but the racism was so blatant, and how you said the intellectuality has been raised nowadays. Like, I was wondering, can you give an example of such, like, just so the younger generation can get somewhat of an example?
The example is what you see on television. The example is what you see Jay-Z go through calling himself Hoover, which is the Lord. You understand? And they making him seem like what they call him the CEO of rap. That's the example. They raised it to such a high level that now it comes into your home where you sleep. It comes into the home with your children. They take it and put it in the schools where you think your children's going to learn what you used to learn as a child in school, and they in there looking at television and rap and listening to radio in school. Yeah, you understand? Sure. And it comes in the sense where the government is forcing the parents to be a part of the educational system, take it and not having those teachers do all that they supposed to do to educate them children properly, where they will tie the parents up so that the parents ain't got time to think about what's actually going on. Everybody want their child to get the A's and the B's and they all involved in school and stuff. What about the covenant of the Lord Most High? What about the personal teachings of the family? You know, if your child come home and they got 6 hours of homework and they say that you got to get involved with them, what about your mind, your meditation, your time for meditation, your time for freedom, your time for introspection, to look towards the Lord Most High? That is very important. And they had snatched that away from them. And that is raising it to a higher level. That's just some of it.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, like, let's go back to Jay-Z. Now, Jay-Z says that he is the Lord of rap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Not knowing that A.H.A.D gave him the words that caused him to become what he is. At the same time, he advertised so much alcohol
and so much evil.
And evil to the who he think he advertising to? Caucasian children? No, because he ain't the Lord of rap to them Caucasian parents. But he is advertising this to our children. Okay? Now, one of the number one killers in our community is not crack cocaine. It's alcohol.
Always alcohol.
Because alcohol takes a longer time to kill you. We look at crack cocaine. But I'm telling you, from family members, from neighbors, from the time I was small, it has been alcohol that has tore down the home, the family. So he's out here, and because it's legal, everybody says it's okay. Then we have people that make this excuse. Well, why get on Jay-Z? He got to make his money. You got to make your money by hurting innocent children?
Right, yeah.
Where do we draw the line? Now, in defense to Jay-Z, what kind of household did he come out of? Yeah. You know, is it anybody, right, what kind of education did he have? Yeah. Was there someone there constantly telling him, you could be more than just their house slave? Right. Don't forget about your people, because see, they take you to the top, and when they're ready, nobody can stop them from taking you down.
And they live so large while they're there that they can't pool their money. They ain't got the mind to pool their monies together to really try to get an educational system. If the Caucasians thought that there would be 100 black men, like they say the richest 100 black men in America, if they thought for a moment that those 100 richest black men in America was going to come together and get a real fraternity and of educating and raising the African American people, there would be 100 most richest dead black men.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to say, if Jay-Z or any of the artists was not the type of person that they recruit, you know, they look and they find out what the person is.
They make sure they let them. Right. Well, it's the same thing that I be talking about with the entertainers, the comedians and what have you. You got comedians all got their shows now, running around. They call them the king, like the kings of comedy. And you know yourself, man, there was some flip-mouth comedians, man, that from way back in the day that them so-called kings of comedy can't even touch. Can't even shine their shoes, so to speak. You understand? These guys, but for today's people, you know, you got to accept, like if you turn on the radio and you're going to listen to the radio, you only can accept what you get. You know? So they force certain things down on you, and that's the best that you get. And if you keep being drilled with something, then you start believing it, man.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed and attain